Namo Vishnu Krishna 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 Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhu has given for 5 minutes. I have to say 3-4 minutes. Actually, I am so insignificant. I cannot glorify such a great personality, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. But I was a long time in Mayapur. I saw the line department and Pujari department. But many times I met with Maharaj. And one thing I like so much that Gopal Krishna Maharaj, in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they mentioned in Guruvastaka, Sivigro Aradhana Nittana, Singaratan Mandiramachanano, Juttasya Bhaktan Sanijam Jato Bibande Guru Sricharan. And so whenever Maharaj comes in Siddhan Mayapur, he always do the Mangalarati, sometimes Madhanarati, sometimes Swanarati, always engaged. And he has many salagram, he always carry with him. And he always serve person, he bath, he take care of the salagram shila, and he also serve in the temple. This is a perfect acharya. It is mentioned that Mahaprabhu said, Asinati ja shastratam asrastat padayapayati jata swayam asarati jasmat asarjastina kirtita. This, the perfect acharya, Maharaj also mentioned so many good qualities, so many wonderful qualities of Maharaj. I appreciate so much. And then is mentioned Asinatija Shastratam. Whatever Shastra says, previous Acharya said, perfectly he performed that Shastra, and he also engaged to other devotees following the Shastra. This is perfect Acharya. Asinatija Shastram Acharya Stapayati. Swayam Acharya Acharya Stapayati. He is the perfect Acharya. And he is a perfect manager, it says organizer, manager. Because whenever any difficulty comes, Mayapur GBC, Mayapur management, always call Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And for him is nothing. Within a short time he can manage everything, he can control everything. How powerful I saw Maharaj actually. And Maharaj also engaged devotees, how to serve, how to cooperate with devotees. In this regard, I like so much the Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And that example I have given, that Vishwanath Secretary, that just third sloka, Sivigra Aradhana. He's always engaged in Sivigra. Always he engaged, and he engaged also all the devotees to serve the deities. This is very nice. And also Guru Maharaj also for book distribution. He always inspired, because in Mayapur also did so much of distribution, and Maharaj always given the seminar, given class about book distribution. How the whole world can change by book distribution. If somebody read Prabhupada books, they can change their life. That's why Maharaj also engaged so many devotees to how to engage book distribution. He inspired Mayapur. Also, it is, I saw that paper also, how much daily also do. Sri Maharaj installed so many temples, so many Namato teaching, everything is there. Bombay, Delhi, cannot imagine that Delhi, completely material people there. But nowadays, so many stone followers by the endeavor of Glorification. He established 14 big temples. How 14?
17. Now 18 plus.
18 plus now. I I went many times that Delhi, that a big temple opening and the main temple, and on Bombay also two big temples. That Juhu and Vinara. They actually Maharaj did lot of fishing, whole area, Maharashtra, Mumbai, that Gujarat, that Gujarat. I went to Maharaj. There is Bhuj. There is a big temple also there. Maharaj main big temple there, and Delhi, the big temple there. Then this is actually Maharaj is soul surrender to Srila Prabhupada. He always surrendered to Prabhupada. And whatever Prabhupada given in a state, Maharaj is followed. Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now we invite the great Sudarshan Guru to join Chandra Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Namo Shivaya. Krishna Krishna Bhutale. Krishna Namo Shivaya. Krishna Krishna Bhutale. Hare Krishna. We had the good fortune of, in fact, a great benediction, you would say, that we were able to take darshan of His Holiness Glorification Goswami Maharaj. 1991 in Mayapur. It was very strange happening, I would say, that this first time actually I was in Mayapur and I shaved my head and then we ran for Mangalarati. So immediately I bowed down and then felt the cold floor on my head for the first time. Stood up and suddenly I saw His Holiness standing right in front of me and he came forward and then he started to hold my hand very tightly. And I was thinking, what's happening? I've never met Maharaj in my life. And he said, so are you going to Jagannath temple? And Maharaj, I'm from Singapore. Oh, I must have been mistaken. Then Maharaj exchanged greetings and gave me his blessings. We bowed down and then off we came. And then I had one mischievous god brother of mine in Hong Kong, from Hong Kong. And he told me, have you been to Jagannath temple? I said, Jagannath temple, Mayapur? You pulling my legs? He said, no, I am serious. You have to go there. If not, Krishna Maharaj, Guru Maharaj will be very upset with you. He wanted company. So I got kids. I said, okay, let's go. And then we took the rickshaw and we went to Jagannath temple. We got down from the rickshaw and then we looked inside and Maharaj was standing there. So His Maharaj was standing there, right there. And then I was like, what's happening now? So I walked in and then bowed down. And then that very moment I think he had some sweet rice in his hand. And he turned around and he smiled. He said, you said you're not coming. And we don't know. Jagannath was smiling, Baladev was smiling, Subhadra Maharaj was smiling. And here is Maharaj, with sweet rice in his hand and welcoming me right there. And then he passed on prasad, from his very hands, like that. That was one of the many meetings. And then again we managed to have his darshan in Bombay, Juhu, when we were there. And of course, the opening of Rajput Temple, Maharaj came, we had his association over. So, the entire episode to sum up, means lavamatra, a fraction of a second of association from the pure devotee of the Lord, means an immense impact on our spiritual advancement. So we must be able to invite them and understand how Krishna actually bestows his mercy through the agency of our pure devotees. So thank you very much. His Holiness Prabhupada Vishnu Goswami Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So we'll invite His Grace Yogananda Prabhuji to glorify Guru Maharaj.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Diname Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Diname. All glories to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. I think on the day that we heard that Maharaj's health was declining, it was so encouraging to hear so many devotees coming forward, chanting and praying for Maharaj. Gopal Krishna Maharaj, from my limited understanding, and especially after hearing from Manmali Maharaj, nothing would please Maharaj more than the unity of ISKCON, under the same shelter, the one shelter of Srila Prabhupada. And in any decisions that Maharaj made, whether as a GBC, whether for the benefit of his disciples, the first consideration Maharaj always had when I had the experience of working with him was whether this would benefit Srila Prabhupada's movement and whether it would benefit ISKCON. As Manmali Maharaj pointed out, it didn't matter to Maharaj how much of accolades he got or how famous he had become, or the fact that actually in India he was the face of ISKCON. In fact, around the world, more people have probably seen Maharaj because of his vast traveling and his vast zones, and yet he would only utilize it if it was favorable to ISKCON. And this was the greatness of Maharaj. I had the good fortune of working under Maharaj because he was my GBC in Gujarat, and therefore for the Rajkot temple, Dwarka temple, and now the Somnath temple that's coming up, and the other places in Jamnagar and all these places, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was a very kind GBC, and he always fanned our enthusiasm. He was an expert manager because he was not a micromanager. Maharaj had this amazing way of empowering leaders, and he would empower them in such a way that everyone would come out hearing from Maharaj and always feeling encouraged. And the other thing that I found about Maharaj was that he had an amazing way of managing the thousands of disciples he had. Because even though he would initiate so many disciples who come and tell me that when Maharaj saw them, no matter how long ago or from which part of the world, Maharaj would be able to pull out and extract some personal details about them that let them convince Maharaj knows me. It doesn't matter if I'm one of thousands, but Maharaj knows me. Never mind going so far. Every time the disciples of Maharaj from Singapore have gone to meet Maharaj, and Maharaj was very kind to them, Manmali Maharaj, always gave them time. He would know everybody's background, everyone's details. He would inquire about their families. It was so warm and personal. And that is the greatness of a sadhu. A sadhu is not only someone who imparts knowledge, but actually a sadhu must be approachable. If the sadhu cannot be approachable, then how will he be able to impart transcendental knowledge? So this was an aspect, a very unique, transcendental aspect of Gopal Krishna Maharaj that I witnessed time and time and again. In October last year, just to give you some background, 2 years ago in the GBC decided that it was time to make sure that all the gurus, all the sannyasis, and all the GBCs, especially if they have disciples, they should write wills. So as general counsel for the GBC, my duty was to come up with a resolution and to share it with the GBC and get the GBC approval. In the discussion there, one of the GBCs that gave me most support for this resolution was actually Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Because Maharaj kept emphasizing to all of us that Just like Srila Prabhupada made a clear will delineating what ISKCON should be and how he wanted it to be run. In the same way, all the leaders who are now Prabhupada's disciples, they should make it very clear how they should pass on the legacy of Srila Prabhupada. So Maharaj was an ardent supporter of that. Now, last year, at the midterm GBC meetings in Pune, Maharaj's health was, the physical health at least, was very challenging. And it was becoming, quite visible to some of us that actually it was becoming difficult. So I was in a discussion with Maharaj and we were on the same table. And despite the challenges that he had, I realized Maharaj was transcendently stubborn because he would refuse to let anyone, do service. He felt very bad genuinely if someone were to do service for him. So if Maharaj wanted water, and Dashavatara Prabhu was a bit further, and I was next to Maharaj. I said, Maharaj, I'll take the water. No, it's okay. I can manage. He was like that. And then at some point, I just raised one very important point to Maharaj. I said, Maharaj, we need you to do a will. Because if you do a will, the rest of ISKCON will follow. Maharaj looked at me very carefully, and he looked at me this way, So, and he said, what's wrong with me? Why? Why are you asking this? What is wrong with me? I'm fine. I didn't know what to say. What do I say at that point? I said, Maharaj, it's actually not about you. It's actually about the future. Maharaj said, do you know when you are going to go? I said, no, I don't. So Maharaj said, all right. And he left it there. I went back in the night after the meeting and I was really thinking very carefully about what Maharaj was saying. And I think for me personally, I think Maharaj had a message for me. Never mind the will, never mind the organization, everything else. What Maharaj was telling me when he said, what's wrong with me? Is that actually, despite all the challenges Maharaj may face with his sharir, he was always transcendently very healthy. And he was completely fixed with Srila Prabhupada. In fact, by Maharaj asking me that, I think Maharaj was throwing the gauntlet to me to say, maybe you should ask yourself how you are doing. And I thought that was a very sobering thing for us. Another aspect of a sadhu is that he's dealer. And that means he's always sober. And I've never seen Gopal Krishna Maharaj doing an action which is not for a purpose. And there's always a reason why he does something. And towards the end, after that discussion in October, Rishi Kumar Prabhu called me, and Rishi Kumar Prabhu handles the legal affairs for Maharaj. And he called me and he said, Maharaj told me you had a conversation with him in October. I said, yes, Prabhu. And Maharaj told me to tell you that he's working on it. And true enough, just a few months before Maharaj left, his became the most complete will that we had from the GBC. He was ahead, as he always was. And whatever that we requested Maharaj to put in, especially instructions to disciples, because they become so important when a guru departs from the world. Every single point Maharaj actually put down. And that's the 10 main instructions that you read in the will. And I just want to take you through it. I want to take you through it because what Maharaj put down here is not just what he wanted to give, but it's actually what we should pledge to Srila Prabhupada and for the institution that he wanted. Always accept Srila Prabhupada as the preeminent Siksha Guru for all times. Next one, Prabhu. Always accept ISKCON's GBC as the ultimate management and authority of ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada's representative to follow its instructions and directions. Why? Because it's in Prabhupada's will. It's very clear that Prabhupada wanted that. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj is passing the baton. Next one. Lead your life so as to be exemplary representative of ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj lived his life that way. At every stage, as Vanmali Maharaj said, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was exemplary. He showed us how to live a life in ISKCON, how to sacrifice for Krishna, and how to be always blissful in devotional service. cooperate together with all other ISKCON devotees to push this movement forward. Anyone who has been a temple president or zonal supervisor under Gopal Krishna Maharaj will tell you the same thing I'm telling you now. Whenever Gopal Krishna Maharaj initiated disciples, the disciples are what we call dream disciples for temple presidents. Because Gopal Krishna Maharaj at the time of initiation, his instructions to them after that, always align yourself with the temple. And that's why it has always been easy for leaders to work with the disciples of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Because Maharaj wanted them to cooperate. Carry on. When some of you advance sufficiently to become gurus and sannyasis, to work under the GBC authorized processes to take up those services, what better example than Manmali Maharaj? That is what he has done. He has pleased his Guru Maharaj so much. And today, exactly Maharaj's instructions is embodied by his senior disciples. Never align yourself with persons or groups not authorized by the GBC. And this is a very important thing that we sometimes take for granted. As ISKCON grows, it's very easy for us to say we'll align, we'll do a little bit of khichdi here, a little bit of khichdi there, and we'll put one foot here, we'll put one foot there. Srila Prabhupada never put any foot anywhere. And his example is ours to follow. Gopal Krishna Maharaj is his most loyal servant. And he showed us how he lived in ISKCON, and how he continued being in ISKCON, and how he left while being in ISKCON. And the next point, Prabhu? Oh, did I miss that? Sorry. Oh, yes. Never leave ISKCON. First and foremost, think of yourself as members of ISKCON. Never fight with ISKCON. Resolve your differences internally in a Vaishnava way. Vaishnava etiquette. Maharaj was the emblem of Sadachar. Vaishnava Sadachar. What we always found as leaders was whenever there was conflict, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was the specialist in resolving them. He had a way of resolving differences. He had a way of creating unity in diversity with all the congregations that he worked with. He empowered, he never condemned diversity. Never. He was immensely patient, even with the most difficult persons. I remember devotees saying, Maharaj, I give up on this person. But Gopal Krishna Maharaj would never give up on anyone. And this is what he did. He wanted everyone to always feel that they are a member of the institution that Srila Prabhupada created. Let's move on. 8. Seriously study Srila Prabhupada's books on a regular basis. Always chant at least 16 attentive rounds every day. Chant at least 25 rounds on Ekadeshis and special festival days. And strictly follow the 4 regulated principles of no meat eating, no intoxicants, no gambling, and no illicit sex. And this is what Gopal Krishna Maharaj did. He was exemplary. There was never any, not even a single iota of criticism could be leveled on Maharaj for his sadhana, his standard of deity worship. Right till the very end, it was very obvious to everyone that Maharaj was completely transcendental in his behavior. Last two. Work to make ISKCON a dynamic society. This is what the disciples of Gopal Krishna Maharaj must actually take up. All of you here who are disciples of Maharaj, you have been exemplary. And I think on behalf of all the congregation, we also want to extend our gratitude to the disciples of Maharaj. Because through his disciples, he has come to be known. We may not know Gopal Krishna Maharaj, but through his disciples, one comes to know the glories of the spiritual master. And Maharaj wanted all of us to take up this responsibility to make ISKCON dynamic. That is why we are part of this family. And last but not least, continue donating your time and resources to ISKCON's causes. I will see Maharaj speaking to major donors, and he will very humbly and lovingly tell them, please, whatever you have, somehow or another, if you can, give it to Krishna. And they became so inspired with his humility, with his tolerance, and with his singular vision of glorifying Srila Prabhupada. So I'm very thankful today that Gopal Krishna Maharaj, my regret is Gopal Krishna Maharaj physically did not come to Singapore. We tried so hard, but Maharaj would just smile, laugh, and he would say, I'll see. One time he told me, do you know how many places I have to be GBC of? Can I be spared traveling more? And we said, Maharaj, if you could come, it would be so nice. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mai ki. But I take solace in the fact that Maharaj lives on through his disciples. And today, Vanmali Maharaj, we are really honored to have you here today as Maharaj's foremost disciple. And to all the other disciples, I'm sure Guru Maharaj would say, every single disciple or every single devotee who has served him, Maharaj never forgets. And you are all special to Maharaj. This is very important. And I'm very happy, K.U. Prabhu, that you have been part of this congregation for years. Many devotees don't even know how much service K.U. Prabhu actually did for Maharaj. But we're really happy that you're here. To Sri Narayan Prabhu, to Advaita Prabhu, and all the Matajis who are here, my humble obeisances. Please do not feel discouraged that Maharaj has entered into an eternal pastime with Srila Prabhupada. He's doing another big project with Srila Prabhupada. And he's building many more temples everywhere. And he's making more and more entities across the universe Krishna conscious. We should be, if anything, if we love our spiritual master, we should become the best disciples we can. We must become the most loyal servants to Srila Prabhupada that we can be. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. My Gaura Premanande. Thank you for organizing this wonderful memorial Prabhus and Mataji's. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much for your glorification. Now, I request now Sangeetam Prabhu to glorify Guru Maharaj.
Thank you.
कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमती गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी के नाम नमो कृष्ण कृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति विनाथ स्वामी के नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारी. When I came, Advaita Charan Prabhu asked me, "Aap bologe?" Okay. So I said, "I have never met Maharaj. What do I speak?" And then the conversation was closed. Then I was sitting there and Maharaj was speaking. I said, this is the opportunity. Even if I don't have anything, just go up on the stage, acknowledge to Maharaj and go back to your place. You are asked to speak. So I started thinking when I heard first about Maharaj. It was in late 90s when one of my friends he told me that Gopal Krishna Maharaj has around 5,000 disciples, and his body, practically every bone of his body has operation. Now it may not be fact. We were all new in Krishna consciousness, young, half information and all. But the impression created that this person is such a big preacher and taking so much of inconvenience physically and still going on with preaching Krishna consciousness. In last many years of whatever preaching I have done, it takes gallons and gallons of blood to make one devotee. And we see Maharaj has made devotees not in a small part of India, it's everywhere, everywhere. One time, it's a recent thing, somebody shared Maharaj's photo when he had visited Pakistan. And it is just 1 or 2 years back, and he got very good firing from my side. I said, why should you share such things? At least Maharaj, let him come back to India. And later on it will be an issue for those people who are in Pakistan. But just see that how much compassion Maharaj must be having, that he has traveled to that part of the world where it is very difficult to survive as a normal Hindu also. What to speak of preaching Krishna consciousness. Maharaj's connection, I was trying to recollect now, I was sitting there, that Maharaj had practically met all the Prime Ministers of India. Every Prime Minister has paid his obeisances to Maharaj. Whether he was belonging to this party or that party, everybody has got Maharaj's blessings. First time when I saw Maharaj was somewhere in 1999 Rath Yatra in Mira Road. A small temple, small Rath Yatra, but Maharaj spoke, I don't remember anything. But I saw Maharaj at that time. Second time I saw Maharaj when he was speaking in Cross Maidan. There was one festival arranged. So in Cross Maidan, Maharaj was speaking, and that time I got really impressed with Maharaj's English. It's a very royal English, very royal English. And then Maharaj, I remember only one point. I am happy that at least I remember one point. That Maharaj glorified Loknath Goswami Maharaj, and he was speaking about other sannyas. So he was speaking about that Cross Maidan festival, which Prabhupada at the time of Prabhupada in 1972 and 1977, and Maharaj was quoting both those festivals. That's the only thing I remember. One thing which I want to say that's very inspiring, that Srila Prabhupada left in 1977, and from that time onwards, Maharaj has been preaching, giving Krishna consciousness, and it's more than 50 years, perhaps 55 years, 77 to year 24. So many years in the absence of Guru, whose physical presence is not there. So it is for all of us to learn a very nice lesson, that even if the Guru physically is not present, it's no hindrance to go on with our Krishna consciousness, go on with our services. And Maharaj has shown us this with his practical example. And I saw this video. It's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. And as Devki Prabhu very nicely said, that whenever any issue is there, see, many of us, we don't know what issues are there in GBC. We are happy seeing Jagannath ji doing Kirtan, Hari Prasad, go home. Right? But when Maharaj sits, it solves all the problems. So I personally pray that let me always be part of solution and never be part of. I thank Maharaj for his wonderful services, and thank you very much for such a wonderful inspiration to all of us. Jai His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Thank you, Namaste Prabhu. Now we invite His Grace Pushpa Prabhu to glorify Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Bhakti-Padharubhasya Kripa-Sindhu-Vyai-Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namaha. Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurum-Militam Yena Tasmai Sri-Gurave Namaha. Namah Om Vishnu-Padaya Krishna-Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Vinamni. Many things have been said about Maharaj. Three things come to mind, maybe I'd like to share them. One is, I first saw a video of Maharaj many years ago. This is a VHS tape that's currently now on YouTube of Maharaj giving interview in Toronto. This is a television interview, and I found Maharaj's answers to the presenter very witty, preserving the integrity of ISKCON, preserving the integrity of Mahaprabhu's mission. So one of the things that I vividly recall is it's a thing that we often quote these days about who is washing whose brains. So, there were complaints that this movement, this ISKCON movement, was brainwashing the youth, yeah. But Maharaj, he asked, who is washing whose brains? So that's nice. This video is available on YouTube. I've seen it on YouTube. So go ahead and watch it. Another thing is in Russia. So Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj is one of the pioneers of the preaching that was carried out in Russia. So I've seen a picture many years ago where Maharaj is in a covert operation printing the Bhagavad Gita in the Russian language. Covert, because this was this was before the, Russia opened up to some religious freedom. So where Russian devotees were being prosecuted. So he was, in as far as Russia is concerned, he's doing an illegal activity, right? All these risks being taken for Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada's pleasure. And after that, he was instrumental in establishing many of the initial centers in Russia. One last thing is, I had the good fortune of hearing many devotees speak in glorification of Srila Gopalakrishna Maharaj on the Smriti Sabha festival a few weeks ago. I was watching via YouTube. So one of the things that touched me was how Maharaj dealt with an incident that happened in Calcutta. The management, the devotees there wanted to leave ISKCON. And Maharaj wanted everyone to remain in ISKCON. And he went all the way to beg them. He was begging them not to leave. So this has really touched my heart. I'm inspired by how much the extent that Maharaj is willing to go, or he wants to go, to make this Prabhupada's family, a house where everyone can live, not go away. So on today, on this Smriti Sabha festival, I beg for Maharaj's mercy so that I can contribute a little to this great movement of Srila Prabhupada, of Mahaprabhu. And there is no doubt that Srila Gopalakrishna Maharaj has got so much mercy from Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. So, Om Vishnupad, Shri Srimad Gopalakrishna Maharaj Ki Jai.
Anand, Haribol.
Thank you, Guruji. And now we request His Excellency Madan Mohan Prabhuji to glorify Maharaj.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Gopalakrishna Goswami Niti Namini. With the permission of Padmali Maharaj and devotees, just a few words in glorification of Maharaj. I have seen Maharaj from the audience 2-3 times. The only time I had interaction with him was at the opening of the Rajkot temple. So Maharaj was moving through the crowd. He was moving very quickly and he was having short interactions with devotees. And I came face to face with Maharaj, and Maharaj looked at me and he just asked me, "Are you reading Bhagavatam?" And in trying to feign humility, I told Maharaj that I'm trying, Maharaj. And Maharaj said, "So you're not reading?" So then I didn't know what to say, and Maharaj said, "You should read, don't just try." And after hearing Vanmali Maharaj speak and all the devotees speak, that's what Maharaj was all about. With Prabhupada's instructions, he wasn't simply trying. Sometimes we say that when spiritual master instructs us, we should just try and keep trying. But I think Maharaj took it to the next level. He applied his intelligence, he gave his blood, he gave his sweat, and he really dedicated his life to Prabhupada. But one thing that struck me about His Holiness was his interactions with devotees. When you read, Maharaj was always saying that devotees should not leave ISKCON. For those in this room, that would sound very normal. But if you were to go out and keep telling people you should not leave ISKCON, you should not leave ISKCON, it would start sounding very strange to them. They would even think that we are very fanatical. But if there was one devotee in ISKCON who could actually say this statement, "Do not leave ISKCON," is actually Gopalakrishna Maharaj. There were 2 interactions I remember that I read. This disciple of Prabhupada had left ISKCON, and he's still not part of the movement, but he travels and he still enters ISKCON's premises. He still worships the deity, so he's favorable, but he's Prabhupada's disciple. So he writes a letter after Maharaj's passing that he was the devotee who got Gopal Krishna Maharaj a place to stay in the United States in the initial days. And after many years, after he left the movement, Gopal Krishna Maharaj became sannyasi, he became huge, he had so many followers. And in Mayapur one time, when this devotee who got him a place saw him in Mayapur, he was approaching Maharaj and a lot of his disciples stopped him because he wasn't in dhoti. And when Maharaj saw this devotee, he stopped his disciples. He ran up from the altar and he hugged him. And he said, I can't believe it's you. I can't believe after all these years, I am finally seeing you again. I still remember you. I still have so much of gratitude in my heart for you. And that is why he can say this. Because he is a person who kept ISKCON relevant and open to everyone. He bolted the doors from inside, but outside he kept it open. And one last offering I read was from a sannyasi from the Gaudiya Math. And I think it was Bodhayan Maharaj. I was reading the offering, and Maharaj spoke very highly of Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Again, similar situation, when he entered one of the temples in Delhi, he wasn't greeted, even though he was a sannyasi, because he was walking in, and I think it was afternoon time. And he writes that Gopal Krishna Maharaj came out personally to receive him, to put him in his room, to have lunch with him, and he eventually drove him together with another disciple to the temple. And I think when we say that we should not leave ISKCON, it should actually be said with gravity, but following the mood of Maharaj, of keeping ISKCON relevant and open to everyone. So on this day, I pray to Maharaj so that all of us can invite that mood of being broad-minded, liberal, but at the same time very strict followers of Prabhupada. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj Ki Jai.
Thank you, Gauri. So now we invite our President, Dinarasa Prabhu, to glorify Maharaj. Since we are short of time, so now I have the difficult job of inviting disciples. So I may not be able to invite. So the idea is to invite one disciple per family. If we have more time, then I'll again invite others. But please excuse us because we are short of time.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Dinami. Hare Krishna. Actually, I didn't know I was supposed to glorify Maharaj until 1 hour ago. So actually, my feeling is that when I started going to Rajkot, and on the way to Rajkot, I used to go to Juhu Temple. And whenever I attended the Mangal Aarti in Juhu Temple, I used to see Maharaj performing the Mangal Aarti there without fail. And then that was the time I started seeing Maharaj. And then after that, during the Rajkot Temple opening, I had some interaction with Maharaj. So interestingly is that Maharaj did Mangal Aarti for the Lordships on the opening day. Then the next day, I thought Maharaj would take rest and all, and there were very few people in the temple hall because the temple opening was done and many devotees returned. But Maharaj came exactly at 4:29, rushing like a small child, enthusiasm to go and then perform the deity Mangal Aarti for Sri Sri Radha Leela Madhav. So it just inspired me that Maharaj showed us by his personal example that he's not the body, but he's acting on the soul consciousness. And because of the two qualities Maharaj has, Ahetuki Aprihata, right? He was always unmotivated, without any cause, and because of that, he continued his devotional service always, without interruption. So these are the two examples that I take from Maharaj. And also, the third thing that I'd like to say is that the disciples, like what Devikibu mentioned, are actually shining the qualities of Maharaj. I work very closely. In fact, the disciples of Maharaj are making a core services here. For example, Advaita Prabhu is now the vice president. He was the president earlier. Mahatma Chaitanya Prabhu is there. Mataji is there. Nitai Prem Prabhu is there. So actually, honestly, working with the disciples, you all know, they are very responsible, very accountable, and they are very simple and very cooperative to work with. So I really want to thank Maharaj. And we like what you mentioned about the 10 commandments, or rather the 10 commandments actually, or rather the 10 things what Maharaj mentioned. I think we all should invite, and like what Mother Prabhu mentioned, we should never leave ISKCON. Because like what Namaste Prabhu mentioned, that to bring a devotee, it takes a gallons of blood and sweat. So knowing that, we are really in ISKCON and we have chanted nice Krishna's names, we have taken nice prasadam, we have nice association. We should never create problem, but we always part of the solution. Thank you very much. Jai His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki.
Jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Now I invite Adi Gayatri Mataji to glorify Guru Maharaj. And after that, Indulekha. We need to be mindful of time. We just have 20 minutes more.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Shivati Gopal Krishna Goswami Nitanam Prabhupada Sasahajya Nya Prakasha Vitirita Pracharam Kitavan Sadhu Bhagavad Gita. Dear Srila Gurudev, please kindly accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. With deep appreciation and humbled by your extraordinary example of spiritual quality and authenticity, I cannot find the words to express our gratitude for your loving service and encouragement. It is with a saddened heart that we are gathered here today to mark the memorial ceremony of Your Holiness. Your sudden departure has greatly aggrieved us, but we are really grateful for all that you have done as a stalwart devotee of Srila Prabhupada. Your unflinching faith and attachment to Srila Prabhupada is very prominent, and on this day, I pray that you bestow your mercy on us, so that we also develop a tinge of that attachment towards Srila Prabhupada. My heartfelt gratitude to your lotus feet for accepting me as your disciple and giving me your shelter. You have always shown your care and affection as a dear father, and I definitely miss that part. Your endeavor to just please Srila Prabhupada cannot be described. Even when asked by one of our brothers about what we should do to please you after your departure, you immediately told him, there is no need to please me, just please Srila Prabhupada. Please kindly bless us that we all remain in your service and serve Srila Prabhupada the way you wanted us to do. All we pray is that we all remain in this Krishna consciousness movement and behave in the proper manner that you instructed all of us, your disciples. May your 10 instructions always hold our lives and guide us in our lives. Srila Gurudev.
Thank you, Mataji. Now I invite Indulekha to glorify. After that, Pramata Chaitanya Prabhu, and I was requested to invite all the kids as well. So it should be ready after Pramata Chaitanya Prabhu.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Shrimati Gopal Krishna Goswami Nitanam Prabhupada Sasahajya Nya Prakasha Vitirita Pracharam Kitavan Sadhu Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. I don't have a lot to say, but just a few glorifications of Maharaj that I've heard from all the God brothers and God sisters. So we've always seen the disciples serving Guru Maharaj, but for the first time I have heard about Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj serving his disciples. Amol Veera Prabhuji shared that once Guru Maharaj had gone to meet a VIP in the hotel, and his disciples were waiting for him outside, and it was taking quite a while. Then once Maharaj finished the meeting, the first question he asked when he met his disciples was if they were hungry. So all the disciples started looking at one another, and then they said, honestly speaking, Maharaj, yes, we are hungry. Then Maharaj from his pockets took out sandwiches from them. We've heard that disciples arrange food for their Guru Maharaj, but this is the first time I'm hearing Guru Maharaj arrange prasadam for his disciples. Maharaj is also very, very compassionate to everyone. Amogila Prabhuji has called him Bhutnath. Translated in English, he is the lord of spirits, ghosts and demons in Kali Yuga. And I fully agree with Prabhuji because Maharaj has disciples like me who are incapable of doing anything, but he has still taken me under his shelter. While leaving the material world, Maharaj didn't stop showing compassion to us because he left his material body in Dehradun, which means he needed to travel to Delhi before going to Vrindavan, giving his disciples from all over the world ample time to travel to take his divine darshan one last time. If he would have left his body in Delhi, he would have immediately been taken to Vrindavan and his disciples would maybe only have half a day or maybe one day to take his darshan. But by leaving his body in Dehradun, he gave us darshan for 2 whole days. One day in Delhi and one day in Vrindavan. It's really an ocean of mercy. Guru Maharaj has many qualities which we never knew. Mohan Rupa Prabhuji, the president of East of Kailash Temple in Delhi, said Maharaj is a face reader as well. I realized this when I was traveling in London a month ago, and I told a fellow devotee that I'm a disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He shared the first time he met Maharaj. He met Maharaj in Vrindavan in Srila Prabhupada's house. After Maharaj had finished taking darshan of Srila Prabhupada, the Prabhuji was standing there and Maharaj turned to him and said, "Don't stop preaching in China." And the Prabhuji was stunned because he had never had any interactions with Maharaj before. Later, the Prabhuji told me that he was part of the preaching team in Hong Kong. Guru Maharaj has inspired everyone he has interacted with to keep spreading the Harinam. Guru Maharaj says that we are all going to depart today or tomorrow. If we are fixed up spiritually, there's nothing to worry. A pure devotee is always engaged in serving the mission of the Lord. To him, living or dying is the same. When he lives to protect the Vedic culture, he lives to serve the Lord. And when the Lord decides now he has to go to some other part of the world, he does that with no hesitation. I offer my humble obeisances unto Maharaj's lotus feet and pray to him that he gives me mercy so that I can preach more and also serve the Lord and his devotees more enthusiastically. Hare Krishna. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj.
Jai.
Thank you, Nilanjan. Now I invite Bhagwan Chaitanya Prabhu. After that, Radha, Madhuri, Adi. Please be ready.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. And on to his venerable sir. Guru Maharaj, first of all, I will thank you from bottom of my heart that you accepted me as your disciple. Maharaj, my personal life has been divided in three phases. One, before coming in association with devotees, second, getting the association, and third, after getting your darshan for the first time on the 12th of February 2013 in ISKCON Vrindavan Temple near the Tip Shop. Before meeting him, I had very little or no understanding of Guru-Shishya relationship. I did not speak to you any word in front of you, but there was one strange feeling just looking at you which I could not understand during that time. But your glance and presence made so much difference that spiritually things moved much faster in my life, and many a times even I was surprised with this. Since your departure, we have heard many of your pastimes and glorification, and two things which stood out was, first, you made everyone feel so special in very unique way. I think Devinanda Prabhu and Maharaj here highlighted the same things. I had many such experience, and every time I used to discuss with Padma Radhika with awe and reverence as to how does Maharaj does this every time. I will always be indebted to you for giving us so much personal time and mercy. Your love for ISKCON, second thing is your love for ISKCON and making sure cordial relationship is maintained. For example, when me and Padma Radhika went in your personal chamber in 2009 in ISKCON Mayapur, we asked for direction and instruction. Without hesitation, you mentioned, and I quote, "Do as Devaki says," referring to Devinanda Prabhu here in Singapore. And then you went on glorifying Devinanda Prabhu and importance of everyone working together in service of Krishna. Maharaj, while we were emotionally unstable on 6th May, I got to understand value of your instruction. Do as Devaki says. I will be always be indebted to Devi Prabhu and Matari for guiding us to visit Delhi, Vietnam, to see, take a darshan of you for one last time. Through Devi Prabhu, you made our last day with you as memorable, that those 5 hours with you will always be imprinted in my heart. And once again, you made me feel so special. Guru Maharaj, I pray to your lotus feet that from here on till end of my life, I render my life in such a, till the remainder of my life, I can perform my deeds in such a way that you accept me again in your service. Your humble servant, Paramatma Chaitanya Das and Paramatma Hare Krishna. Glorious Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai. Now, all 3 messages. You can please go.
Dear Guru Maharaj, although I've only met you once and it was a very young age, I don't remember you very well. I've heard many devotees glorifying about you and listened to a couple of clippings of you. I really wish I remembered you and seen you more physically. But my mother told me that when I was 2, we met Maharaj and he was giving us prasad and it was a peda. He was putting the peda in our hands. And when it was my turn, he gave me the peda in one of my hands. And even though he gave me one, I stick my other hand to get one more peda from him.
Dear Guru Maharaj, even though I have only met you multiple times at a very young age, I don't really remember you much. I did have a special encounter with you which I treasure till today. I was only 3 years old and we had travelled to Vrindavan to meet Guru Maharaj. Maharaj was giving prasadam and when it was my turn after Maharaj, Maharaj had given me some mishri, but I still extended my hand to get more. Maharaj laughed and had given me more. Guru Maharaj was and has always been a compassionate and caring devotee. He has also inspired countless devotees around the world.
When we received the news of Maharaj's departure from this world, we were quite shocked and devastated about it. This happened so unexpectedly and quickly, and that it was hard to accept and process the fact that we would not be able to see him anymore.
We had always taken him and his association for granted. And today, we request all the Vaishnavas to bless us so we can continue serving Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj and all the devotees.
Haribol.
Dear Guru Maharaj, I met you in December last year. My mother was telling you that I don't listen to her, but my father came as a savior. He said, I am doing book distribution in Christian distribution. You smiled and said, oh, you do book distribution. May that smile be my inspiration for the whole
Life
to distribute Srila Prabhupada books. Jai Guru Maharaj.
Haribol.
Namavi Prabhu, Keval Prabhu, can you please come forward? After Keval Prabhu, Namavi Prabhu, please come forward. Okay, so Namavi Prabhu, so Nete Mani Mataji, you have just 2 minutes.
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasad Buddha Vishnu Gopal Krishna Goswami Nityananda Sai Prabhupada Deva. We just heard about his will and how the Prabhu explained the importance of the will. And
All the so many devotees have spoken about Maharaj's love for deity worship. By Krishna's blessings, I was fortunate enough to be in that phase where Maharaj had started to cultivate doing deity worship. The first 96, he had pictures he was worshipping, and 96, 97, he started to get deities. I think Prabhupada came first, Rashanga Dev came next, and then Gorita and so many Shivas. I was not initiated, I was not a Brahmin initiated, I was not a person initiated, but still I would assist him in doing worship. And one of the instructions he always had for me was not to touch his Shaligram Shivas, because again I was not Brahmin, so he was afraid that I would make some aparad to his deities. So I would do everything for him, like prepare chandan, prepare flowers, prepare water and everything. And there was one day I remember, and the only reason I'm sharing this is so that you know that how deep relationship Maharaj had with his deities. He had a very personal, loving relationship. So one day, I think it should be around February or March, we had this book celebration, book marathon celebration, where a lot of devotees were getting prizes for distributing books in marathon. Next day, the same day Maharaj was supposed to go back to Delhi. His health was not good. I think around 6 p.m. The program started. And we had prepared for his ticket. The flight was like 1 a.m. flight, which he was supposed to take at night. So once Maharaj went to the program, I started to pack his luggage. We had called a Brahmin initiated Pujari to start packing his deities because Maharaj would travel with them everywhere he goes. So everything was ready. Around 7 p.m. I go back, finishing all the setup and everything. Then Maharaj was saying that Brahmin who was then the president, had asked him to not to travel at night, but do the next day morning, because his health was not good. So he was thinking of cancelling. So we asked him to go and unpack his luggage and also put the deities to rest. So I asked some Brahmin to come and unpack the deities and put them back on the altar. I think around 8:30 p.m. I go back to him, and he says he had got a call from Delhi. It was very urgent, and he wants to travel at night. So again, I had to look for a Brahmin Pujari to come and start packing the deities. Very few Brahmins in Mojhur temple would be willing to do that service because they say Shaligram Shilas are very strong and very powerful, so they were also very afraid of worshipping them just so that they didn't want to do any offenses. So I finally managed to find someone, they unpack the deities and put them on the Shayan and also pack them again. Finally, around 9:30, Maharaj says he cannot go because his health was really bad. At that time, I could not find any Brahmin devotees to come and unpack the deities and put them on the altar. I didn't know what to do, so I did the most foolish thing that I could. I took a shower and I knew how to unpack the deities, I knew where the deities went on the altar, so I just put them back on the altar. After that, Maharaj came to his room, he did his gayatri, he took his rest. Next day after Mangala Aarti, he comes to his room, he started to do his puja, he finished his puja. We both offered our obeisances to deities after his worship, and he looks at me and says, Prabhu, don't ever touch my deities again. No one was in the room when I had unpacked the deities. Nobody could have known that I was the one who had unpacked the deities. So it just shows that he had a very, very personal relationship with his deities. I don't know what to interpret, but that was something that only I knew that I did. Maharaj could have never known, but the first thing he told me was, don't ever do this again. And I asked what happened again. So Maharaj was, his deity worship was very strong. We have all heard numerous times how no matter what time he sleeps, he would always be there for Mangala Aarti the next day. My only request to Maharaj, all the Vaishnavas, Jagannath, is this lifetime I'm able to follow his instructions, and maybe next lifetime I can again be his servant. Again, with my Global Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
After that, Very Prabhu 1 minute and 1 minute Glori Prabhu. I'll take the mic if you speak more than 1 minute.
शान्तिं प्रकाशयति यशः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणी. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. It's really a heavy moment for all of us. We are missing your personal association. We realize someone value more only when they are not with us. From all the senior Vaishnavas, we are hearing that there is no death for a pure Vaishnava and that the spiritual master lives in the heart of the devotees. The devotees can feel his presence through his instruction. Your instructions are a real well. You have summarized all your instructions in your final bell, as Devakinandan Prabhu shared. The love and affection Maharaj has expressed for Srila Prabhupada in his will is incomparable. We sincerely pray at your lotus feet to bless us with a speck of your determination, devotion, and dedication to follow your instructions. We had the fortune of attending your 79th Vyasa Puja in Delhi last year. Even with your hectic schedule, you are so kind to give us your association. By your causeless mercy, we received our Brahmin Diksha and the opportunity to render some service to you. We have only met you a few times, but were really touched by your fatherly care and affection. You sincerely inquired about the Singapore congregation, and every time you say, like as Paramatma Chaitanya Prabhu said, follow Devakinandan Prabhuji's instruction. My instructions are not different from Devaki Prabhu's instruction. We are hearing your glories from exalted Vaishnavas. You are the reservoir of all good qualities. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is given 3.25.21. Titikshavakarnika sudridam sarvadevina ajadashatruvashanta sadhuva sadhu bhushanah. The symptoms of a sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, and friendly to all living entities. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, he abides by the scripture, and all the characteristics of Sadhvan. You have lived your life by this verse. You are so merciful to all living entities. We have seen your video showing how lovingly you feed bananas to monkeys in Vrindavan. While going for a walk, you also chant your rounds loudly. Whenever he hears them, whoever hears them, it will benefit for all. You are known as ISKCON's troubleshooter. Whenever there is any misunderstanding among devotees, you diplomatically handle the situation and solve the problem smoothly. Many great personalities outside ISKCON have also sent their offering to Maharaj, including Prime Minister, President, some cabinet ministers, and leaders from other Vaishnava Sampradayas. This demonstrates how much an impact Maharaj had even outside of ISKCON. So I wanted to share Glorification by His Grace Devakinandan Prabhuji, who was telling how Maharaj is like Daksha, expert in devotional service, and his love for deity worship. Every day Maharaj will perform Mangalarti to the deities in any temple. In 2012, they conducted a GBC meeting in Tirupati. At that time, Maharaj was there. Prabhuji was anticipating that Maharaj would worship Radha Govinda and Ashtasakis. 1 day, 2 days, and 3 days. Maharaj never entered the altar. So Prabhuji went to Maharaj and asked, whichever temple you go, you do Mangalarti, but why not here? How is it that you are not performing Aarti here? Maharaj said, no, I am not. Again Prabhuji requested. Then Maharaj said, I am afraid. Gopis are there. I am afraid. Prabhuji said he was shocked. Maharaj did not say Radha Govind is there. He said Gopis are there. When Gopis are there, one should be very careful. Maharaj, your life and teachings have deeply impacted our hearts. Your compassion, wisdom, and unwavering devotion guide us every day. We find comfort in knowing you live on within us as we strive to follow your instruction by example. We pray for your blessings to carry forward your legacy with the same dedication and love you showed. Thank you for everything. Your presence will always be felt in our heart. Your humble servant, Nityananda.
Haribol.
Thank you, Madhavi. Ajay Jan, after the Thamsika, and then Padurari Madhavi. Sorry, we are going to we have to wait this first.
Go.
There's so much to say, but I'm fearful after 1 minute my mic is snatched away. So, as you all know, Maharaj is ocean of mercy, ocean of compassion. But I'll cut short to it that today only I heard Maharaj says that spiritual master is not just pleased by offering flowers. Maharaj said that there are some devotees who dance high and shed tears. So we should not be attached to spiritual master sentimentally. So then how can we please spiritual master? So by following his instructions. We all are here to glorify Guru Maharaj. And then after 8:30 p.m. work, again back to our normal routine material work after we are out of the Goranga center, and who is going to buy flowers, who is going to buy vegetables, and what is the plan for the next day. And we'll just say, oh, very nice program, very nice glorification. Thank you, Prabhuji and Prabhuji. I just remember around 10 years back, I was just sitting there with little Adi in my lap, and I remember Devinandan Prabhu saying that don't make this Saturday program a ritual. So come here, dance, eat, and then go back and then forget about Krishna for another week, and then wait for the Saturday to remember Krishna. So just a small request. Can I request everyone present here on behalf of all the disciples of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj to take a pledge that we will follow at least one of his instructions. Maharaj's life and soul was book distribution. So if we can pledge this year as small offering, all of us present here, at least 10 Bhagavad Gita or 10 Srila Prabhupada books we can distribute as an offering to the lotus feet of Guru Maharaj. So Maharaj, I think we'll be able to please him little bit. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
I am reading this on behalf of my father, mother, and my sister. We are reminded of the verse from Bhagavatam 1.13.10. Bhagavad Vidha Bhagavata Sita Bhuta Swayam Vibhu Tirti Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Tadavrita. Translation. My Lord, devotees like your good self are very holy places personified. Because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You would turn all places into places of pilgrimage. All these 20 years, you have been very kind to give us the maximum mercy possible by purifying us, by giving your darshan, instructions, and services. From our part, we feel guilty to say that we are still struggling to consistently chant and read Srila Prabhupada's books at least 1 hour every single day, which is one of your first and foremost instructions to us. We beg for your mercy to maintain our enthusiasm, Guru Maharaj, in spite of various challenges in our devotional service. How are we going to repay for your mercy all these years? We pray at your lotus feet to get more and more attached to your transcendental Vami, be a better devotee, serve the ISKCON movement according to our level best. Seeking your blessings that we should always be mindful for duties to Srila Prabhupada and unto yourselves. Your unworthy disciples, Srinarayan Das, Gopi Devidasi, Hamsika and Shru. Hari.
Padma after that, Venudhari Prabhu, and then Govind Prabhu, please be ready. Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Shri Goswami Maharaj Ji ki
Jai.
Dear Guru Maharaj, your being is very deeply. I tried to write many versions for today's glorification about you, Guru Maharaj. Yet, with my limited qualification, I couldn't find a more honest, heartfelt, and straightforward statement than this that we were deeply missed, very deeply. The world seems more meaningful and less meaningful at the same time. Your countless sessions, devotees associations, and the guidance of all the senior devotees, our counselor, Grace Radhika Mataji, Devi Nandan Prabhu, all of you have been of immense help. But still, the only ashray we are left with is your Vani. For past 25-26 days, we are listening more than ever a continuous phase of your glorification all around the world. Acharyas are saying that you have been someone who had not found any fault, no matter what. They are also saying that you have been one of the most stalwart disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada when he wanted to start again his preaching mission in India. They are also mentioning the qualities like you have been supremely intelligent, you have been very skillful, you have immense loyalty, faithfulness, and devotion for Srila Prabhupada's word. And while listening to all these realizations, I have been trying to figure out what's my takeaway. What should I gather and collect as a guiding instruction? Today, in the presence of all the devotees, I would like to submit it in 3 words. Clarity, commitment, and character. Maybe in the association of all the devotees here, I will get more clarity about your instructions, your teachings, and your aspirations to serve Srila Prabhupada always. I will request that all the devotees present here bless me and all the disciples of Maharaj with great commitment to perform these instructions. And the last, Guru Maharaj, may my character be something with which you accept me again and all.
and we were in a dilemma, should we, like Guru Maharaj never comes to Singapore, but we know they go to US, California. So we're like, okay, now we will meet Guru Maharaj there anyway, so let's not meet them. We were in a dilemma, should I drive like 500 kilometers to meet Guru Maharaj? But somehow Guru Maharaj inspired and we went all the way. I pinged, Guru Maharaj said, oh, if they're renovating, I want to meet them. Guru Maharaj gave us a full hour out of the schedule. And we were like awestruck. Guru Maharaj has to meet prime ministers, ministers and on. And we were like, no one. And still Guru Maharaj said, no, I want to meet them. So we went all the way. This was one day before my birthday, 29th April. And Guru Maharaj said, okay. And he chatted all about how his time in America, how he met Prabhupada and everything. And he gave us inspiration. He asked about every devotee in Singapore. Again, Guru Maharaj was very personal. He made sure that we are enthusiastic. And finally, out of my excitement, I asked, Guru Maharaj, can I see you in US? Finally, I can host you at my home. Guru Maharaj smiled and said, maybe not, because Guru Maharaj said, due to my health, I don't travel now. But we never thought that this was a hint that this is probably the last time we are meeting Guru Maharaj. And he clearly gave us instructions, just be in association of devotees. And I still remember Guru Maharaj said, you are going to San Jose, US? Half of that area is my disciples, so don't worry. Half of the my disciples. Wherever you go, my disciples will be there, my instructions will be there. Just follow them, I am there. Like I have been doing for Srila Prabhupada, you should continue that with my instructions, with Srila Prabhupada's instructions, and that's how I will be with you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Your servant Viruda Yoginath Das and Radhika Valpuri Das.
Thank you. Now, requesting Nando to glorify Guru Maharaj. So after that, one more devotee, I will just close and then we will make an announcement. So just, we don't want devotees to wait for Prashad.
So thank you very much for being patient and listening the last few hours. I'm having for on behalf of the family, Hamsi has already read, but I just wanted to quickly run through what we had earlier. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept the honorable obeisances of Lotus feet. All those who Srila Prabhupada and all those holiness. All of Guru Maharaj's unlimited glories and pastimes. For our purification, I'm just recollecting few of them, just as a quick shot. So Guru Maharaj is a GBC trustee and deputy trustee. He has constructed many temples, like you know, distribution of millions of books, and he has been great support of the project of a very special project, the DOP project, the youth and congregation preaching, Ratyatras, Prasadam distribution, and his great respect for all his God siblings and his God brothers and God sisters. He takes personal care of each and every one of them. His personal sadhana, his deity worship, his performing various arti services, especially Mandalarti, his extensive travel throughout the world, throughout the year, till his last breath. Sometimes we say, when he was mentioning that even in Dehradun, when he was leaving his body, it was mentioned that he was in the battlefield. So sometimes visiting 4 to 5 countries in a month, and then 7 to 8 cities in a day. Every year he ensures he does Govardhan Parikrama every year during the Kartik month, Navadvip Parikrama also. And he ensures he always be there for machine services in Mayapur. His regular morning japa walks, his physical fitness, so that he ensures that he serves Srila Prabhupada till his last moment. He had one-on-one personal relationship with each and every one of his disciples, and he always ensures about their welfare. And he is easily accessible to all his disciples and all the devotees also. So we are very fortunate to have Guru Maharaj once here today with us. So thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Thank you, Gauri. Since there is lack of time, so I just say a few words. Okay, so I request Dhoni to say he was requested.
Humble message to all devotees. Hare Krishna and none of them told devotees. Jai Nityananda Vish Namo Vishnupada Vajrapachacharya Ashwatachakshya Bhagavad Gita. I'm grateful for the opportunity to hear the Maharaj in front of all this innovation, in front of Maharaj. So actually, I come from Gurgaon temple, and Maharaj come to Gurgaon temple and then temple very often. Okay, actually, in the starting days I don't know about Maharaj, is phone, okay. Someone dragged me, okay, in the phone and said, just please come. Then first time I saw Maharaj, while Maharaj is giving like one of the class on the topic of Bhagavad Gita. After that, I attended so many camps in Maharaj, including Nadwara, Udupi, Dwarka, Haridwar, Jagannath Puri, Mayapur, so many. So I have like so many personal experiences as well. So in the starting days, like I went with Maharaj to Sector 45, Sector Gurgaon Temple construction. Then Maharaj like went everywhere. Like that place is as well like where like stones are like coming out from the like roof. So Maharaj is like fearless. And at that moment Maharaj said to me, so can you serve the temple? He said, at that moment I just said yes Maharaj. Okay. Then after that, like I saw like so many qualities of Maharaj. Like whenever Maharaj like see like in the ground, okay, any ants are there, Maharaj just stopped, okay, at that moment and start chanting, okay, for the ants, okay. Like say he's so compassionate about the other living entities apart from human beings as well. So like Maharaj like is very good in kirtan. All are thinking like Maharaj like is not giving like not doing that much kirtan, but Maharaj do very good kirtan classes as well. And one time I remember, okay, like in one of the like camp, okay, only 16 who are doing like 16 rounds of chanting, that devotees are there. Maharaj did 3 hours kirtan, 2 hours class in the morning, and 3 hours kirtan and 2 hours class in the morning and evening both times. See, so Maharaj spiritual love like for everyone, okay. So Maharaj devotion, Maharaj like met Prabhupada and dedicated himself to service his mission. And Prabhupada said only one temple, okay, requested one temple, okay, in Delhi, and but Maharaj built 18 temples. It's very difficult, okay, to make even one temple, but Maharaj built 18 temples. Okay, I have like a limited interaction with Maharaj, but like I met with Maharaj so many times due to ISKCON Youth Forum as well, Delhi as well, Gurgaon as well. And Maharaj always emphasizing on the core principles. Like what are the core principles? Like fundamental principle of ISKCON. Just like in one of the instruction, Maharaj said, okay, core instruction you have to follow.
Thank you, Prabhu. Now the time to come down from sorry. We can do it tomorrow. We are meeting tomorrow. So we are meeting. We can glorify tomorrow. Sorry, I have to do it. Because the Thai Prabhu said, if I have less time, I will not speak. Now he has come. Saying I will speak soon.
Prabhupada says, I think we have production with you. One seven, Ram Vishnu Krishna 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 Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Prachari Krishna Krishna Nashati Krishna Mancha Guru Krishna Kripasindhu Vijay Vedana Bhagavad Guru Vishnu. So I met Guru Maharaj in 2002, somewhere in August and September. At that time, I was a first year college going student, and I was coming from a Sikh family. My parents thought temple has done some magic on me. But anyways, I didn't care much. I was a very short-tempered person, and I used to fight with my parents. And I saw that was the temple and the devotees. So the devotee said, Guru Maharaj is coming. I never met Guru Maharaj before, so I thought maybe it's a person with a attire of a king. But then Maharaj came was very simple. We took a class and then we went for a Harinam. So I started chanting 16 rounds when I went to Vrindavan for the first time. Then I went to Canada. In Canada it was, in Punjab it's like a Swarga Loka. So everyone was very happy in my family. But it was a disaster for me. So the only place where I found solace was the temple. And the temple president said, Guru Maharaj is coming, Gopal Krishna Maharaj is coming. So I said, okay, can I do something? He said, can you clean his room? I said, sure, I will clean his room. So I cleaned the room, then I went down. I saw a dark blue rose flower. And I said, I want to buy this for Guru Maharaj.
Because I was feeling on the devotees, if the pure devotees become pleased, the life is success. But I only had like about $5 or $7, and the flower was about there. And I had no money. I was a student, I was not working. But I bought the flower, and then Guru Maharaj came, then temple president introduced, this boy has cleaned your room, Maharaj, very nicely. He says, oh, you have cleaned my room? I said, yes, like, Prabhuji's mercy, he gave me seva. And I took out the purple flower and I said, rose flower. I said, Guru Maharaj, this is for you. And he smiled like this. Oh, thank you very much. Then after that, we went to Rath Yatra. Then I returned to India, and I was still associated with the devotees, and devotees asked me, it's a time to take initiation. I said, okay, I will take initiation. And when the time for the interview came, I paid obeisances just right at the door, and the Guru Maharaj was sitting on the sofa. I know this boy very well. There is no need for an interview. I thought that probably Maharaj is just referring to the interactions we had. That's what I thought. And over the years, many years have passed. I got initiated in 2007. I realized one thing. I was never qualified for first initiation. But somehow Guru Maharaj gave me. Then I decided I would never take second initiation. First initiation I was not qualified, I got it. But then in 2022, it was a Kartik Vrindavan, and Adi Gayatri and one of my very close godbrother, Amal Gautam, the Brahman family, they wanted to take second initiation. They asked me, I said, look, I'm not interested, I'm just happy with the first initiation only. I think this is sufficient for me. Then they said, okay, fine. Then they said, Guru Maharaj want to see you. I said, why? I went forward. He said, just want to see you. I said, okay, fine, I'll go. Then they say, okay, you just wear new dhoti kurta and you started. I said, what are you up to? He says, no, we have asked Devaki Prabhu, he has given a recommendation letter for you. I said, nobody asked you for that. Why did you do that? Then I was very sure that I will just go tell Guru Maharaj, I was not qualified for first initiation. Somehow you gave me. I think I'm seriously not qualified for second, definitely. Then Guru Maharaj looked at me. He says, what does devotee want? I said, they want me to take initiation, but I think it's okay. Then Guru Maharaj says, don't worry, continue your service. And Guru Maharaj gave me second initiation. And now I'm realizing from when I'm hearing from devotees, that when Guru Maharaj said, I know you very well, it was not just based on the interaction. He really knew me very well. So, despite so much shortcoming, so much ignorance, so much deeply ingrained into the mode of passion and ignorance, he still accepted me. He always said, don't go as a guest to the temple. Do some service. Follow the local authorities. So, that's what I'm trying to do. I also request all the devotees to pray and bless all the disciples, and especially me, that we are able to follow the Guru Maharaj instructions throughout our life. That's all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So I had written down many things, but since I don't want to be standing in between you and Prashant, please. So I just want to say I had a good fortune of serving Maharaj during Rajkot temple opening because of Deviyananda invited me. So there were 3-4 days we had a very nice time in the sense serving Guru Maharaj. And then also I had a fortune of driving Guru Maharaj from Rajkot to Ahmedabad for 4 hours. So that was my best time in this life. One thing there are many incidences, was one thing I was just helping Maharaj to wear his slipper when he walked out from temple from washroom. And I was just helping Maharaj looked at me and said, am I troubling you a lot? So I was speechless. It's first time I'm getting a personal service after so many years. And Maharaj is saying, just for a small thing, am I troubling you a lot? I don't say anything. I just looked at Maharaj. And I thought, yeah, I want these kinds of troubles. Yeah. So this is one of the things I recall. There are many things, but since it's already a time, we'll can glorify Guru Maharaj during Vyas Puja offering as well. Thank you. Thank you very much for patiently waiting for Prashad. We thank you all for coming forward to hear Maharaj glorification. And please pray for us so that we can keep on serving the congregation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
To the disciples, please don't apologize. Remembrance of the spiritual master, either in disappearance or appearance, is the most important event. And if we need to take the time, we will take it. Devotees, I'm sure all of us today, by hearing about Glorification Maharaj, were very inspired. So we want to thank Banmali Maharaj. Your timing is perfect, Maharaj. You've come to give us so much nectar. Maharaj is going to be here for this weekend, throughout the whole week, and to the following weekend. So we will definitely get to hear Maharaj take classes on Saturday, Sunday. Tomorrow in the evening, Maharaj will take a class for the Bengali devotees. All others are also welcome. Very wonderful group of devotees who are eagerly looking forward to seeing you, Maharaj. I want to thank Shamsundar Prabhu for joining us today and giving us your association and your realizations, Prabhu. And I want to thank all the disciples of Maharaj for giving us so much insight into all your faith and your bhakti. Because Guru Bhakti is so important, and Gopal Krishna Maharaj embodied that. He also embodied loyalty, and his example is ours to follow. The feast today is in honor of Maharaj, and it's done by his disciples. Tomorrow morning is a very special event also. On behalf of the disciples of Navayogendra Maharaj, Radhakan Prabhu and many other devotees here, tomorrow we will celebrate and remember and glorify His Holiness Navayogendra Maharaj on the occasion of his Vyasa Puja. Navayogendra Maharaj, he Maharaj is so wonderful, and he has given so much association through his disciples.